Welcome back to Breaking Borderlands. In our last adventure, we had reached our breaking point, but we were short a piece of equipment. So what we're going to do is invoke a mission. We went back to Sanctuary, we talked to Ava, who was on the bridge, and we took Invasion of Privacy as a mission. So we're just going to get this done. Now, again, you could have done this right after you left Athena since she was on the ship. It'll pop up. But we saved it for now, just because, again, the piece of equipment we're looking for can be a world drop shield. But since we haven't gotten lucky on the world drops, we're going to invoke the elite that has it in his loot pool. Okay, so now go ahead and pick up her items.
Wait, if they found all this stuff. Crap, my notebook! You have to go make sure my notebook is safe. That gets out, I'll literally die. It is all my super secret notes.
Now I'm just gonna run past for time saving.
Let them hear your rage.
Hey, look, radioactive jabber. Ow. You don't care about the jabber? That's fine. So now we're gonna come.
No! Where is it? Who took my notebook?
And not discover her notebook.
Quit burning people's homes down for a second. Check out this emo chick's Tom diary. It's hilarious. Here, listen. Running scared. Day 1. I think my whole family's dead, and I don't know what to do.
Alright.
Right?
That's not... You can't... Old Hunter, you gotta do something. Find him!
Day 3. I miss my family so much. Sometimes it feels like my heart is a fist clenched around a piece of barbed wire, and it hurts so much to hold on to the wire, but I'm afraid to let go of the wire because then I won't have it anymore.
That's not about me. That's just a song I'm writing. It's about politics. Yeah, they're bad, right? Forget that. Just find this guy before he finds my secret.
Oh no, your secret. Alright, so the first page of the diary's here.
But don't read any of it.
Okay. Day 11. Found an alley to live in. Warm enough to survive the nights because there's a pressure release valve for the sewer that opens heavy. This chick lived in a fart cave. She lost everything.
Okay, that was a poem. The sewer's an allegory for boys. Yeah, normal poem stuff. Not real, just a made-up poem. Seriously, find this guy.
Day 443.
And then page 2.
Joined the crew. I jumped ship at the next port, took his vac suit, sold it for food money. Ring ring. Hello? We're selling attachment issues? Oh, you already have all of them? My bad.
No, it wasn't like that. I didn't mean to... Look, shut up, dude. Gold Hunter, listen.
Hello, hello.
You have to find him. It's
Now that is pretty. Not gonna hold out for that much longer anyway. So the hex grenade's one of my favorites. And it's a cloner, so it'll spawn 2 of them. But now we're gonna go back up here towards the,
All the stupid monks stick like Gouda in it.
ooh, pretty lights.
There's one chick with blue hair I keep seeing around the market. She's
But we're gonna come up this way towards the, distillery.
trade for the gun. Hope no monks are listening.
I am so disappointed in you, child.
And if you happened... Oh, pardon me. So if you happened
I'm just gonna skip to the end. Wait, what's this on the inside?
to,
After the key for a super secret weapon cache.
do the side quest, then, you know, feel free to take any spoils you can find.
told you there were really important notes in there. He's gonna get the key to those guns and blow this whole place to hell.
Oh no.
That's where he'll be. You gotta take him out.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, we'll kill beans. Now, the first time you show up, he's gonna have backup, but after that, he'll show up alone. And he's pretty easy too.
Grab that key vault, honey. Weapons aren't safe now that Malawon knows where they're hidden, so we should probably take it.
Just because he resists it, don't mean he can withstand it. Alright, so now we come over and grab the key.
Got the key? Kick ass. The cache isn't too far away.
No, it really isn't. So behind this building, you'll find a small ledge. And on the ledge is a red chest.
Guards are in good hands now. Noah, could you bring all my
Well,
stuff
how
back?
about that? And again, you don't have to take it. I'm not even sure what's so great about the boo. But we got lucky with a ripper. No, I didn't pay attention to what it's... Oh, come on now. Yeah, so what was its anointment? Fade away, which, you know, feel free if you want to switch back to it, but I don't know. I think I'm good. It really doesn't need the weapons damage boost at this point, and again, it's a ripper, so just smacking somebody with the blade will make them take more damage anyhow. But now we're going to go back to Sanctuary. We're going to turn this into Ava. We are then going to head back to Athenas, speed run to the spawn point before the graveyard. And then it's just a farm situation, you know, take him on, back out, reload, take him on until you get the shield. He will also drop a Wester gun, which is kind of like the Devoted that we were just using. It's a Malawan submachine gun, and it's okay. It is not mayhem worthy unless you have a specific build of the weapon, like it drops with a specific part. I'm not even sure what part that is. That's just what I've literally heard. Everybody else says, you know, don't use it unless. So, I just don't use it. Not a bad gun, just not the best.
Glad to have you back.
So, back on Sanctuary. Ava's usually always up on the bridge after you're done the main storyline. Yep, she's in her room this time. So go ahead and place her objects around the room. Oh, come on now. And then go talk to Ava. Yeah, I thought she was in her room. That was just us putting the stuff away.
Thank you! How about this? You go enjoy those weapons, and I go burn my notebook, and we just never mention any of this again. Cool? Cool.
Totally uncool. Alright. So, yet again, we're going to head back to Athenas. Now, pretty sure I'm gonna have to reload because I already took him out once. But it's not the biggest deal. And again, if you feel so inclined to kill everything along the way, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just doing this for time's sake of the video. Just a nice little marathon. Pardon me, gents. Would you mind looking at the radioactive monkey for a bit?
You there. How are your last breaths?
Oh. Tried to slide, and they hit me with the cryo. So we're just going to keep running till the back. Again with the cryo damage. Now, personally for me, I like using the spawn point back here. Just because it's right next to an ammo vendor. I don't think there is one closer, actually. I'm not sure. So, again, we're going to head back up into the area, see if he respawns.
A meager life, a fitting death.
And that's one of the reasons I don't like doing it this way with the farm, because I don't think there's a spawn point close to where he shows up. Oh, look, he did show up. So he's not too hard to deal with. Usually there's a barrel there you can hit him with. Oh, how about that? Did he drop it? He did. Alright. So now we got ourselves a front loader shield. Now, when equipped, you can see how my health is now stuck at half. Yeah, you can see that thing's not that good. Not that good at all, but it's money. So now that we have this equipped, whenever we have the Urad weapon that we found equipped, all damage we do now has radiation damage, including... Oh, come on now. I need to jump off of something. It wouldn't let me. But you can see it has radiation. Now if we switch to the incendiary, radiation damage still. Can turn lots of weapons into deadly killing machines. But the reason we needed it was because now there's radiation damage on our spark plug.
Run, you weakling!
So even badass enemies should fear us. If they get close enough to fear us. But since we've acquired that, now we can head back to the handsome jackpot, the compactor, and Trashlantis. So now the strategy here is incredibly simple. The whole reason I like doing it this way, these pieces of equipment. Now mind you, you can cut out the front loader shield, but you have to be lucky enough to find a spark plug deathless artifact, because the deathless will double your shields and the shield's recharge rate and such. But it will leave you at 1 health, but that still counts. Hello? Yeah, that still counts towards the Urad damage. And again, it even adds damage to the pet, I'm pretty sure. Because again, it's just radiation damage across the board. It's just damage. Whatever you do to cause damage now has radiation as part of it. So it's not difficult to find spots that you can volley off of. You just gotta find something that will have you land in a lower elevation. So we're just gonna run through. Pardon me. And back at our new favorite respawn station. Because you're probably gonna go down a couple of times while doing this. Not as often as you'd think, but still gonna go down a bunch. Now, the whole plan here, since if you happen to be playing a flak, even if you don't have the gamma burst setup that I do, your pet still causes a distraction. And if you're alone, this works fantastically because the claptraps will come straight at you, which allows the lightning to go into the critical spot of their eye. Now be careful planting these because if you put them in the water, you're just going to shock yourself. But you can also, if you're a flak user, just put it close to the your companion, and it'll chain towards people. But this is one of the reasons you might want to have the loot explosion on for all this, is it'll drop legendaries. Again, it's only world drop stuff, so it's a lob, it's nothing special. But whenever you get to this point, when Scrap Trap Prime decides to join the fight, you're going to want to run. It's not that you can't take him on, you've already beaten him once before. It's the fact that it is faster to level up taking out all the Scrap Trap than trying to take him out too, because he'll slow this whole process down. Not to mention he's a crazy murder bot. But at this point in farming, what we're going to do, I know this sounds crazy, but we're going to crank it up to your choice of 10 or 11. Now 11's easier to deal with, but doesn't give as much experience, not much less than 10, but if you're going to be doing it on 10, I highly suggest that you sit here and you fish around on the reroll to try and have Loot Explosion as your easy modifier, and to have Holy Crit as your very hard modifier. Now again, getting these two together is really hard. This isn't a good one. The main thing you want is Loot Explosion if you're being on 10. But I'm going to crank it up to 11 just to make things a little simpler, which is going to require a just a bit of a loading screen. Now, mind you, one thing you have to be careful of, if you're doing a Mayhem 10 Loot Explosion, eventually there's going to be too much equipment lying about. You're going to have to take out Scrap Trap Prime just to give yourself some time to look through all the legendaries and whatnot. But all the other equipment that gets left around is going to clog up the game, and eventually you're going to blue screen. So when you start building up stuff to an immense amount, just switch between Mayhem 11 and Mayhem 10, and it'll reset everything and bring you back to our new favorite respawn station, which will also reset any of the iridium deposits that are lying about. And now that you're up in the high Mayhems, there's usually one back here. Now that you're in the high Mayhems, those give out a lot more iridium, and there's even ways to get even more. But now you can see we've cranked it up to 11. Distract them, please. Now you can easily get one shot here, but if you get this planted, it is very easy to get second wins as well. But you can see I'm having no trouble taking things out other than planting the next spark plug. Now, if you run a little first and then come down, it's easier to plant it. I left the cartel event on because it's also going to bring in extra targets to get extra experience, but it can also slow down the process because the scrap traps are going to want to go for the loader bots as well. But that's, you know, pro-con situation really, because we can also have specialty cartel bosses show up, so there's another chance for extra legendaries to show. And again, they're not like super weak to anything, but it's just extra stuff. So again, when Scrap Trap Prime shows up, or if you want to, you know, come back before the nest is completely demolished, you can do that too. But just make sure you stand back there a bit. I like doing it with Scrap Trap Prime because when he disappears, everything is reset. Doing it other ways, you just basically gotta count to 3 and hope it reset for you. But now you can see, because you can see the bar down there at the base, how fast it is filling itself up as these things come in waves. And again, in about an hour, I have had a friend of mine. Now make sure if you're rushing a friend with this method, reasons that it is a great method to rush a noob. For one, as long as they are standing like back here, which I find the safest place is right here, kind of crouched in the corner, nothing's going to get to them. Even if something follows you back here, nothing's going to get to them. You as the player that is boosting the other player can throw down any legendaries that are worth it for them to save for their max level character you're working them to. Yeah, it is vicious. But doing this rush technique, I have rushed somebody to max in about an hour. But again, we weren't even... There were no breaks. I want to say that he had done the Borderlands science machine in Tannis's infirmary. It has a point system. You can spend points on special items. One of those special items boosts experience gain for like an hour or 2 hours or something like that. But you see, we've already went up to level 44 and now level 46 in just 2 runs. And again, we're in the 40s. We're past the halfway mark to max level. So this is quite an awesome method. Iceberger, heinous power. By grabbing the legendaries before I run back here. A couple of reasons why is, one, it cleans things up, and I also like to either hold on to them till my bag is full and then go sell them for the monies, or I can again just throw them all back here so that they collect and gather. Another thing to note, if any enemy that you leave before you go in the back is a cartel member, whenever they disappear for the reset, it counts as a kill and the cartel members will teleport in. Now, the reason I mention this is because if you are chased out the back by a couple of scrap traps, and then that happens at the back of the container, you will be stuck. Especially at this level, unless, like, you get God-level legendary drops from the world loot pool, there's no way you're going to be able to handle this situation without special conditions. I'm not going to say no way, it would just be very difficult. Yeah, so... But I'm just warning you of that because I've literally ran into that situation. Now, when I originally found this whole thing, I noticed that as long as you're behind, like, the back quarter of the room, then things won't spawn in. So if you're ever overwhelmed, just run back and you can deal with what's on the field. But originally when I found this, I would plant one of these and then run back because I didn't find the finesse that I have now of just using the incline of the hill. But honestly, the best spot to plant is here, where I just summoned my companion. Just because it's nice, it's level, which allows the critical spots on the eyes of the claptraps to get hit easier, especially when they're looking at you, or chaining off of one of their buddies. And eventually, I say eventually, because this method can also be used to boost your guardian rank. I'm going to enable it just for a moment. Whenever you get your enforcer up to, I think, rank 100, you can take Come On and Slam. Now, with that on, literally you can stand in one spot and just, you know, act like a pogo stick of electrical death. Now, honestly, this was one of the first tips, tricks, you know, glitches that I showed on my channel. This is just me being more in depth of how do I get to this part and how do I use it wisely. But in all fairness, I'm going to turn this back off to anybody who, again, is brand new and just watching this series to break a character. You're not going to have it. So I'm just showing you that even without it, this whole strategy is very plausible, very, very effective, and again, can be done with any character. Mose actually has skills in her red tree that will automatically reserve some of her health and make it to where she can't heal, I think, above like 60% or something like that, or 40%. But she can do it naturally with a skill, so all she would need is the spark plug and the Urad weapon. And again, if you happen to get super lucky and find a spark plug deathless, then you won't need the shield and can use whatever shield you're comfortable with. But see, since the last time I had mentioned it, we've already leveled twice. And again, this is just on Mayhem 11, which all the scrap traps will drop is pretty much just ammo. All the other equipment you see drop is because we had cartel members come through. Now, again, if anything at any time gets too built up, then you can switch. I'm gonna switch to this. I don't suggest post-mortem there at the bottom for the very hard, just because your spark plugs chain lightning will not hit the buddy system drones. They will not hit the Healy Avengers, and they will not hit the deaths that get summoned. So pretty much any secondary target that is either attached to or develops from an enemy will not be hit by the chain lightning. It's kind of a downer, but the reason that you can let the post-mortem slide is because as long as death doesn't touch you, you won't enter second wind. And as long as there's something near your spark plug, it doesn't matter if you're in second wind, you're going to get back up. But very important that if you're going for Mayhem 10 with this whole setup, Loot Explosion is on, because you will have it go off more often than not. It'll be procced, and it is quite nice. I likes it. You don't need to worry about spending any skill points at this particular point in time, just because there's really no reason to. Eventually you're just gonna spend the rest of them when you're max level. So now you can see how they have beams connecting them. That is one of the modifiers that is going on now. So be careful, because those beams between them can take you down. But, yeah, and the Healy Avenger there, you can see how the lightning is not traveling to it. Pretty sure that death just touched me, which is why I went down. It was either that or the roaster. But she's immune to radiation and fire, so you just gotta wait for the electricity to take her out. And again, now you can see all this extra equipment that is dropped. A bunch of, nice Tina's hippity hopper. A bunch of iridium, some money. And again, chances at even more equipment and loot. Please leave me be. Pay attention to the jabber. Alright, and then when Prime shows up, you can go ahead and leave. Now again, even though everything is at your level, yep, there I just smacked him to death. You're still getting the max experience you can out of everything here that is your level. So there's death right there. He went and touched me, but instant second wind because I still had a spark plug out. And again, anything at this point in time can take me out, whether it's death, which you can see we're not going to take him out, even if we had our best weapon. But he will slowly follow, so you can outrun him. Ow, 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 ow. I'm not entirely sure what I killed for the second wind. I honestly think that sometimes if one of the second... No, see, there, did it again. Yeah, if one of the secondary things, like the Healy Avenger or Death, if they disappear due to time limit, which is a thing, sometimes I think that counts as a second win, but I can't be sure. What are you? A more Linoge. It's not bad. I just want it off the field. And there's Prime. So we're gonna run. But I think you get the idea here. You're just gonna do this over and over until you hit max level. And then when that happens, we're gonna go back to Sanctuary, get some of our bearings straight, and then move on to making the build for our broken character. But I hope you found this entertaining and informational, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.